Time isn't speeding up. You are slowing down. Every adult feels it. The years blurring together. Summers that once felt endless, now gone in a blink. You assume it's just part of getting older? It isn't. The truth is your brain has quietly stopped recording your life the way it used to. And the moment it stops recording, time starts to disappear. Think about the last 10 years of your life. Now think about the 10 years between 5 and 15. They were exactly the same length, but they don't feel the same, do they? One is a vast landscape full of detail. The other slipped by while you were busy, and there are at least 3 different reasons for this, each one stranger than the last. Let's start with the simplest, math. In 1890, the psychologist William James sat down to write about a strange feeling almost everyone has, but almost no one questions. Why the years seem to grow shorter as we age. He pointed back to an idea from the French philosopher Paul Janet, and the idea was almost insultingly simple. When you are 1-year-old, a single year is your entire life. It's 100% of everything you have ever known. When you are 10, a year is 1/10 of your life. By the time you're 50, that same year is just 1/50th. The year never changed. It's still 365 days, but measured against everything you've already lived, it keeps getting smaller. Each year is a thinner slice of a bigger pie. And here's where it gets uncomfortable. If your sense of time really works this way, then the felt halfway point of your life isn't at 40. It comes far, far earlier. Run the numbers, and somewhere in your late teens or early 20s, you may have already lived half of your subjective life. Not half your years, half the time you will ever feel. Everything after that is the back half, accelerating. It's a clean theory. It's also not the whole answer, because proportion explains the slow drift. It doesn't explain why some weeks vanish and others stretch out forever. For that, we have to talk about memory. Here's something most people never realize. You don't actually experience the passage of time. You reconstruct it afterward. When you ask yourself how long a month felt, your brain doesn't check a clock. It checks your memory. It asks one question: how much happened? A month packed with new memories feels long when you look back on it. A month of pure routine feels like almost nothing at all. Now think about childhood. Everything was a first. The first day of school. The first time you rode a bike. The first time you saw the ocean, tasted something strange, got your heart broken. Your brain was recording constantly because everything was new and everything mattered. Those years are dense with memory. That's why they feel enormous in the rearview mirror. Then you grow up, and slowly the firsts run out. You take the same route to work. You eat the same meals. You see the same faces, have the same conversations, move through the same rooms. Ask yourself what happened in March 2 years ago. You have no idea. Not because it was unimportant, because it was identical to everything around it. And your brain, which is ruthlessly efficient, stops bothering to record it. Why save a file you already have? So it doesn't. Whole weeks pass and leave almost no trace behind. The recording stopped, so the time collapsed. Neuroscientist David Eagleman spent years studying exactly this. In one experiment, he sent terrified people into freefall and measured whether time truly slowed down for them in the moment. It didn't. But their memory of the fall stretched because the fear forced their brains to record in extreme, frame-by-frame detail. That's the whole secret. Time doesn't feel long because it is long. It feels long because it was densely recorded. Novelty, fear, wonder, anything that makes your brain pay full attention, thickens time. Familiarity thins it. This is why a single week of travel in a new country can feel longer in memory than 3 flat months of your normal life. You weren't given more time. You were given more memory. And more memory is the only thing your brain can ever mistake for more time. But there's a third layer, and it's the strangest of all, because it suggests the speed up isn't only in how you remember. It's in how you perceive the world right now. in this very second. In 2019, an engineer at Duke University named Adrian Bejan published a theory that reframed the entire problem. His argument was about hardware. Your brain takes in the world as a stream of mental images, almost like frames in a film. When you're young, the network is small, fresh, and fast. Signals travel quickly. Your eyes flick constantly, grabbing image after image. You're capturing a high frame rate, so a single hour holds an enormous number of moments. As you age, that network grows larger and more tangled. The signals slow. The pathways degrade. You capture fewer mental images per second. And here is the trick. If you take fewer snapshots in the same hour, but you measure that hour against your childhood self who took thousands, the hour feels like it raced past. The clock on the wall didn't change. Your internal frame rate dropped. The world only started moving faster because you started filming slower. Put all three together and you finally see the full picture. The math makes each year a thinner slice. The missing new memories empty out the recording. And the aging brain itself films fewer moments per second. 3 separate clocks, all winding down at once. No wonder the years feel like they're falling straight through your fingers. But here's the part nobody tells you. None of this is fixed. Look closely at all 3 reasons, and they share a single enemy. Sameness, routine, the familiar, proportion, you can't beat, you can't get younger. But the other 2? Those are built on novelty. And novelty is a choice. The reason childhood felt so long wasn't that you were a child. It's that you were doing things for the first time, constantly. Because nothing was automatic yet. Recreate that, and you recreate the effect. People who fill their lives with genuinely new things. New places, new skills, new people, real challenges, detailed memories the same way they did as kids. And when they look back, those years feel long, full, lived. The person who spends a decade on autopilot and the person who spends a decade chasing the unfamiliar will both age exactly 10 years. But one of them will feel like they lived twice as long. Because in the only currency that actually matters, the time you genuinely feel, they did. So the cruel joke of getting older isn't really about time at all. You get the same 24 hours you always did. The clock never changed. What changed is that you stopped noticing it. You let the days become identical, and identical days don't get recorded, and unrecorded time simply disappears as if it never happened. That blur you feel, the sense that the years are slipping away faster and faster, that isn't time running out. It's your brain telling you that you've stopped paying attention. It's the recording light quietly blinking off. You can turn it back on, not by finding more time. There is no more time. But by doing the one thing your childhood self did without even trying. By treating the world like you've never seen it before. Because the people who feel like they lived the longest aren't the ones who lived the most years. They're the ones who were awake for them. And most of us are sleeping through the best footage we'll ever get. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a new video. See you in the next one.